Whenever I come out on a shoot, I never know what I'm going to shoot. Well, I usually know the subject, but I never know what I'm going to do, and I never know what I'm going to say, which is completely off script. And just to prove it, I've actually buggered my tripod. I put it down where I thought was safe between a couple of rocks. One of them shifted. Gutted was not the word, but hey. There we go, just make sure these are well set. There we go, okay. I don't know whether to move forward slightly, probably forward. See if we can eliminate that, it's a bit ugly. There we go, that's better. Let's level off. There you go, okay. And do we want to go slightly this way? That looks about right for me. Okay, so I'm just checking how bright we can go. I like that, but I'm going to throw a second grad on to tame that sky, which looks absolutely beautiful. Such a lot of texture and mood in that. Don't want too much. It looks unnatural. So I'm going to pull this up a touch. There we go. It's better. I'm just going to readjust. Better watch that. Vignetting. Heavy, heavy, heaviest, heaviest, least. So about there. And we've still got a tiny piece of this concrete coming in. I could lose that if I lift up slightly. But actually, you know what? I actually quite like it. Very heavy on the bottom, probably too heavy. Bit more of that sky. There we go. Now I think we're ready. And if I can come down a touch, there we go. And I might be able to get this all the way through. Nice and easy. Let's go for it. So we're going to go 1 minute for each step forward. And then at the end, I'll take a very slow very quick exposure to capture the texture in that sky. And then again, when we get back to the office, that's when we'll do our magic. And that's when we'll work. That's when we'll work on the computer and see which of the blends work best and which of the how many images I have to focus stack. I'm going to be taking about 4 possibly. I may only need 2. I may need to use 3. I don't know until I get back. I'll just take this. Now I think this scene at f/16 I can probably use only 2 images, but I always take more just in case. So I always take 3 or 4 just to make sure that I've got everything in focus. Now, I think these images are going to look absolutely fantastic in black and white. You can see that it's very even light, it's very dull light, for which I'm grateful, so we're not battling highlights and the sun and everything else. So that's great, I'm really pleased with that. But I think scenes like this will benefit from a monochromatic approach. But we'll see again when I get back to the computer. And now our final focus stack. Now it would be possible for me to do shorter exposures and then blend in the water and just do 1 long exposure for the water. Now normally that's my approach, but that's very fiddly and more difficult to do. In this situation, with very even, soft light, I can take my time on them long exposures because the light, the ambient light, isn't changing drastically, so it's nice and easy for me to blend them in later on. And now I'm going to remove this 10 stop. And I come all the way down, so we can see that beautiful texture. 20th of a second, done. Thank you for joining me here at O'Sullivan's Beach, and we've got 2 images, I hope, under the bag, fingers crossed. So let's switch across and let's hit the computer. Okay, hi, well, welcome. We're back in the office, and bit of disappointing video, that audio issues, as well as this, breaking the bottom leg of my tripod. But hey, rocks do shift, accidents do happen, but it's a costly mistake. So ProMaster are doing the best to try and sort out whether or not they have these as spares, but I don't think they do. So yeah, gutting, but never mind. Okay, so yes, we're going to do some editing, and I'm going to show you how to focus stack. So I'm going to jump straight on, and then we can see where we go from there. Let's import our images. So we can make a start, and we're going to import our images into a stack, so into layers, and that's where we're going to start from. So we come all the way down to scripts, load files into stack. Let's browse to find our images, and okay, let's put them in order as they're supposed to be, and we want the last 4 images just there. I think those are our images. I'm not going to allow them to attempt to automatically align the source images or create a smart object. I'm going to align them by hand after they've imported. I don't know why, but sometimes if you do it the long way, if you allow them the automatic way to do it, it's not quite right. It doesn't quite align properly. So we're just going to load these in. As I said, there's 4 of them, shouldn't take too long. You'll notice that these files are, 11,600 by nearly 9,000. And on reflection, maybe I should have exported smaller sized TIFFs just to speed this up. So I'm just going through and having a look at these. They look good. There we go. Unedited raw. I haven't done anything to these, and you can see they're quite flat. So the first thing I'm going to do is just select them all. So I click the top one, hold down Shift, click the bottom one, and I'm going to come up to Edit, Auto Align Layers. And I'm going to go with Auto. That's usually fine. And I shouldn't have to touch anything else. Don't need any vignette removal, I don't think, because I'm not doing a panorama. So aligning them one on top of the other, I don't need to worry about that. Let's click OK. And let it run its course. It will just run and do its thing. And then what we'll end up with is 4 layers that should, the main content should be layered one on top of the other. So I'm going to zoom in so you can see that transparent area. You can see it just there. And that's where the image has just been shifted about a little bit so that the main subject is in the same position in all 4 of those images. And you can also see that there's a little dust spot that I've got to get rid of. For those with very keen eyes, they might see that there's a hot pixel here, and I'll also get rid of that. You shouldn't be frightened of hot pixels. You often get them if you're doing long exposures one after the other. In this case, I think these were around 50 seconds each, something like that. And yeah, so 50 seconds, then I moved the focus to another 50 seconds. So without allowing your sensor to cool down properly, you're in danger of getting the odd hot pixel. So nothing to worry about. We can easily get rid of them. There is an automated process for that and a manual process for that. And guess which one I usually choose? Yeah, manual. So we'll go through that, no doubt. Okay, so we've got our images. So what we need to do, or what I need to do, is I need to understand which of those areas are in focus on each of those 4 layers so that I know to blend them. And as I said earlier, there is a manual way to do this, which I'm going to do, but there's also a automated way. So we're just going to select those 4. We'll try the automated way first. And just to let you know, I've never really had any luck with the automated way. So I'm going to come down, I'm going to, hello, Laffy's saying hello. I'm going to go to auto, oh, we've done that, cancel. We're going to go down again to edit, and we're going to come down to auto blend layers. And I'm going to hit that. You'll see that we've got options to do panorama, or we've got stack images. So we're going to go with stack images, and we're going to let that go. That may take a while, so we just have to sit it out. Are you saying hello? Saying hello? Oh yeah. Okay, so that's done. And let's have a little look at that. Usually it's around the skyline, and just, oh God, just look at that. Just look at that. That is just horrible, isn't it? Like, it's done a good job on the main object, but if you just look, just here, that's just awful. Absolutely awful. It's not done a great job at all. So, yeah, I'm just going to Control Z that. I'm just going to go back one. And now we're back with our layers, and we're going to do it manually. I should say we're going to do it properly. Okay. So the first thing first is I'm checking out where those areas have the sharpness that we require. So I'm just going to switch these on and off. Yeah, that top one is very good. You see it's soft there, but then it's very sharp from there through. So the top one and that second one, let me just check this one. I'm just going to zoom out because I'm also going to look at which has the better water. I actually like this bottom one because I like this splash. So that's this one is the main focus for here. And this one is nice for up here. So the line of where that sharpness starts to fade is around here. So I'm just going to check these rocks over here. Yes, and these are sharp, sharp, sharp. So it's up to here. The bottom one is sharp. And then beyond that, it's sharper here. Okay. So I only actually need 2 images for this focus photo stack. So I'm just going to delete those 2, and we'll go with the 2 that we've got. Okay. So nice and easy. I'm going to set up now a mask. So to do that, I'm going to select the topmost layer and just select mask. And if you notice, you can't see anything. You can't see anything yet because a white mask conceals everything underneath it. And so white conceals and black reveals. So that means I've got to paint on this mask with a black brush, and it will then show you, like a window, what's on the layer underneath. So the easiest way for me to do that is just to start. You could come up here and use the brush tool here, or just use B on your keyboard and it gives you your brush. You can adjust the size by using the square bracket up and down like that. You can change the opacity and the flow of your brush. Here, I'm just going to leave it up to 100% for now. And here, it shows what you're going to paint, at white or black. And now if yours was something else, some other colour, for instance, oh, why aren't they changing? Oh, that's odd. Oh, because I'm on the mask, probably. Let's see. There you go. If you had different colours set on here, then all you have to do is click this little icon black and white there, and it will set it up. And if you're black and white, this is the one that you'll be painting, and this is the foreground and background colour. And if it's the wrong way around, because we want to paint black on that mask, you just use that little logo there, or you can use X on your keyboard and you can see it swapping between the two colours. Now we're ready to start painting, but I just want to make sure that we've selected the layer mask itself. So we've clicked on that, and now we can start painting. Now you may wonder why I have chosen 100%, and that's because for most of this, I want all of what's below to show. If I use 50%, then it would only make the top layer 50% transparent, and you'd still be able to see bits of the top layer and bits of the bottom layer. And if it just doesn't work right. So what I do is I use 100%. I know that around here's my transition line, so I tend to put just a couple of little lines like that to remind me where the sharpness on the bottom half is required, or where I need to show the bottom half. I get my black brush and I'm just going to reset that so it's 100% black. I'm going to resize my brush, and I'm just going to paint on there like that, 100% black. And you can see over here that the black's showing through, and what that will be doing is showing me what's underneath. And I'll just go up to that line, just like that. Now, it's 100% opacity, 100% flow, but I've got a soft brush, so the edge to this brush is slightly soft. So at the edge, it's actually like blurring or a slow transition between black and the white on the mask. And that should be it as far as we're aware. I'm just going to go in and double check to make sure that we haven't introduced any artifacts. But if we switch that off, you can see that the top layer changes here when I switch it on and off, but the bottom layer is stock still, and that's because that mask is doing its job, because this part of the image is from the bottom image, the bottom layer. And I'm happy with that. I'm more than happy with that. That seems to work. So I'm just going to use Command and semicolon just to get rid of those guides. And we've now got an image that's front to back sharp. More than happy with that. So I don't go on to I don't edit these two layers. What I do is I create a new layer with the information from those two layers blended together, and that is Command, Option, Shift and E. I'm not sure what it is on the PC. I'll find out and pop it up, and that gives me a new layer here, a new layer that has all the information from these two. So if I switch those off, you can still see this is a fully blended layer of all the information that's below. Okay, so now I suppose we're going to have a look and deal with those hotspots. And as I said, you can come up here and use filter, noise, dust and scratch filter. You can use that, and it does a great job. But now and then I find that it softens the image a little bit, and yeah, as soon as you went to all the trouble of focus stacking it, I just don't want to leave it to the automated option. So instead, I'm going to do the hard work. It doesn't take too long unless you've got a sensor that overheats quite easily. And again, the solution to that is just to wait a minute or so before the next shot if you're doing a long exposure, if you can, that is. So I'm going to pull another guide across, and that's so I know that I'm looking at this section now, this section here of the image. I'm going to use our spot removal brush, and tiny little one like this, and I'll just, whenever I see a hot spot, I will just do that. You'll mostly see the hot spots in the darker areas, mainly because they're light. So you notice them more in the darker areas. Just double check. So there you go. Come down, there's one on the horizon, there's one here. And you do get used to finding them and just obliterating them. There's something quite satisfying, for me anyway, in editing them. So it only takes a couple of spots, just like that. And a big one over there. And let's move across. Again, let's pull our guide so I know where I'm looking. There we go. And it doesn't take too long, to be honest. So I won't bore you with that. We'll jump ahead to the next bit. Okay, so that's done. And we've come back here, and you notice that we've got our dust spot here. Once again, that dust and scratches can get rid of it, or Lightroom and Capture One do visualize spots, so you can wipe them out that way. Again, you know me, I prefer to do it by hand, so I select the clone tool in this case. There's many ways in which you can do it. It's just how I do it. I'll take holding that option, I'll just take a sample from there, and I don't want 100% this time. I probably want about 46 and 50, something like that. And I'll just wipe through half of that spot. I'll come below it, and I'll do the other side. I'll do it to the left and do a little bit there, and go to the right and do a little bit there. It's gone, it's gone. And that's what I would do for any of the dust spots that I find in the image. And really, that's it. It's a focus stacked and cleaned up image. It's still a raw image. And from there, that's where I would now go on and edit this image, using a variety of things, but I usually use Camera Raw and Photoshop itself. On occasion, I may actually throw it into Lightroom and do some adjustments there, but I think this one is fairly fine. I think the last thing before I edit it, I'm just going to crop in slightly to get rid of those transparent areas at the edge, and I may consider whether I want to crop in more or not, like this possibly, but I think I'll just take it just a tiny bit in. You don't have to have it exactly on the rule of thirds. It's close enough, because I do like this dark little bit of corner on the right hand side, sort of leads your way in. So if I was thinking about how I was going to edit this, let's put it on transparent. I don't want to delete the pixels, I want them to stay. Click that just like that. If I have any thoughts about this edit, I think it's going to go black and white. So there's going to be a heavy vignette. I'm probably going to use some sort of maybe radial filters or a brush to lighten this area up leading to here. and then darken other parts of it. But hey, we'll see. So I'm mindful of not making this super long. If you wanted to see me do some editing post focus stacking, well, then please just let me know. So I suppose all it leaves me to say is, well, here comes those 2 images. I did take 2 images, although, as you're aware, I have got audio issues yesterday because through my panic of the broken tripod leg, I knocked out the audio lead to the Rode transmitter. So I didn't have any audio for the first image that I took. I did have audio for this one, so that's what you've just watched. But I will give you the 2 images of the 2 images I took I took yesterday on that evening. So listen, here we come. Here they are.